the education of the will is the object of our existence. To mere mundane relations, the development and discipline of one's willpower is of supreme moment about success in life. No man can ever estimate the power of will. It is a part of the divine nature, all of a piece with the power of creation. The achievements of history have been the choices, the determinations, the creations of the human will. Most men fail, not through lack of education or agreeable personal qualities, but from lack of dogged determination or dauntless will. There is strength, depth and solidity, decision, confidence and power, determination, vigor and individuality in the round, ringing tone which characterizes its delivery. It talks to you of triumph over difficulties, of victory in the face of discouragement, of will to promise and strength to perform, of lofty and daring enterprise, of unfettered aspirations, and of the 1,001 solid impulses by which man masters impediments in the way of progression. He who is silent is forgotten. He who does not advance falls back. He who stops is overwhelmed, distanced, crushed. He who ceases to become greater becomes smaller. He who leaves off gives up. The stationary is the beginning of the end. It precedes death. To live is to achieve, to will without ceasing. The most valuable result of all education is the ability to make yourself do the thing you have to do when it ought to be done, whether you like it or not. It is the first lesson which ought to be learned, and however early a man's training begins, it is probably the last lesson which he learns thoroughly. I don't do more, but less than other people. They do all their work 3 times over, once in anticipation, once in actuality, once in rumination. I do mine in actuality alone, doing it once instead of 3 times. Anyone who has observed businessmen closely has noticed this characteristic. One of the secrets of a successful life is to be able to hold all of our energies upon one point, to focus all of the scattered rays of the mind upon one place or thing. The way to learn to run is to run. The way to learn to swim is to swim. The way to learn to develop willpower is by the actual exercise of willpower in the business of life. The man who exercises his will makes it a stronger and more effective force in proportion to the extent to which such exercise is intelligently and perseveringly maintained. The forth putting of willpower is a means of strengthening willpower. The will becomes strong by exercise. To stick to a thing till you are master is a test of intellectual discipline and power. It is irresolution that is worse than rashness. He that shoots may sometimes hit the mark, but he that shoots not at all can never hit it. Irresolution is like an ague. It shakes not this nor that limb, but all the body is at once in a fit. The man who is forever twisting and turning, backing and filling, hesitating and dawdling, shuffling and parleying, weighing and balancing, splitting hairs over non-essentials, listening to every new motive which presents itself, will never accomplish anything. But the positive man, the decided man, is a power in the world and stands for something. You can measure him and estimate the work that his energy will accomplish. The best men are not those who have waited for chances, but who have taken them, besieged the chance, conquered the chance, and made chance the servitor. The man without self-reliance and an iron will is the plaything of chance, the puppet of his environment, the slave of circumstances. The world takes us at our own valuation. It believes in the man who believes in himself, but it has little use for the timid man, the one who is never certain of himself, who cannot rely on his own judgment, who craves advice from others, and is afraid to go ahead on his own account. It is the man with a positive nature, the man who believes that he is equal to the emergency, who believes he can do the thing he attempts, who wins the confidence of his fellow man. He is beloved because he is brave and self-sufficient. Never admit defeat or poverty. Stoutly assert your divine right to hold your head up and look the world in the face. Step bravely to the front whatever opposes, and the world will make way for you. The man who succeeds must always in mind or imagination live, move, think, and act as if he gained that success, or he never will gain it. There is no doubt that, as a rule, great decision of character is usually accompanied by great constitutional firmness. Men who have been noted for great firmness of character have usually been robust. As a rule, it is the strong physical man who carries weight and conviction. The great prizes of life ever fall to the robust, the stalwart, the strong, not to a huge muscle or powerful frame necessarily, but to a strong vitality, a great nervous energy. To prosper, you must improve your brain power, and nothing helps the brain more than a healthy body. Health is essentially the requirement of our time to enable us to succeed in life. The mere absence of disease is not health. It is the overflowing fountain, not the one half full, that gives life and beauty to the valley below. The mind has undoubted power to preserve and sustain physical youth and beauty, to keep the body strong and healthy, to renew life, and to preserve it from decay many years longer than it does now. The power to hold on is characteristic of all men who have accomplished anything great. They may lack in some other particular, have many weaknesses or eccentricities, but the quality of persistence is never absent from a successful man. No matter what opposition he meets or what discouragement overtakes him, drudgery cannot disgust him, obstacles cannot discourage him, labor cannot weary him, misfortune, sorrow, and reverses cannot harm him. It is not so much brilliancy of intellect or fertility of resource, as persistency of effort, constancy of purpose that makes a great man. Those who succeed in life are the men and women who keep everlastingly at it, who do not believe themselves geniuses, but who know that if they ever accomplish anything, they must do it by determined and persistent industry. Persistency of purpose is a power. It creates confidence in others. Everybody believes in the determined man. When he undertakes anything, his battle is half won, because not only he himself, but everyone who knows him, believes that he will accomplish whatever he sets out to do. People know that it is useless to oppose a man who uses his stumbling blocks as stepping stones, who is not afraid of defeat, who never, despite calumny or criticism, shrinks from his task, who never shirks responsibility, who always keeps his compass pointed to the North Star of his purpose, no matter what storms may rage about him. The persistent man never stops to consider whether he is succeeding or not. The only question with him is how to push ahead, to get a little farther along, a little nearer his goal. Whether it leads over mountains, rivers, or morasses, he must reach it. Every other consideration is sacrificed to this one dominant purpose. Opposing circumstances create strength. Overcoming one barrier gives us a greater ability to overcome the next. History is full of examples of men and women who have redeemed themselves from disgrace, poverty, and misfortune by the firm resolution of an iron will. Success is not measured by what a man accomplishes, but by the opposition he has encountered and the courage with which he has maintained the struggle against overwhelming odds. Not the distance we have run, but the obstacles we have overcome, the disadvantages under which we have made the race, will decide the prizes. You are never so near to victory as when defeated for a good cause. Every condition has hardships, hazards, and pains. We try to escape them. We pine for a sheltered lot, for a smooth path, for cheering friends, and unbroken success. But Providence ordains storms, disasters, hostilities, sufferings, and the great question of whether we shall live to any purpose or not, whether we shall grow strong in mind and heart, or be weak and pitiable, depends on nothing so much as on our use of the adverse circumstances. Outward evils are designed to school our passions and to rouse our faculties and virtues into intenser action. Sometimes they seem to create new powers. Difficulty is the element, and resistance is the true work of man. Ready to unlock a universe of wisdom? Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and enjoy the power of knowledge.